Types of software testing. How can you categorize software testing? Basically, software testing is classified into two main broad categories. One is functional testing and second one non-functional testing. And there is another type of testings, manual and automated testing. What is meant by manual testing and automation testing? At a high level, we need to make the distinction between manual and automated test cases or testing. A manual testing is done in person by clicking through the application or interacting with the software and APIs with the appropriate tooling. That's all in person. You are going to do everything on the application. That's a manual testing. This is very expensive as it requires someone to set up an environment, execute the test cases, and it can be prone to human errors. There is a chances of having mistakes, as the tester might make a typos or omit some test cases in the test script. So these are all, and also a tedious task. Manual testing is tedious task. You feel bored while testing. Keep testing repeatedly same task, you'll feel bored, and also very expensive also, because you have to spend a lot of time to complete the testing. That's a manual test. In person, you are going to click on something and the web pages, whether it is working or not, you have to check everything in person. You have to validate whether it is working or not. That's a manual testing. Automation testing means it is performed by a machine that executes a test script that has been written in using some programming language. It is driven by a tool. Automation tool will drive this automation testing. A test can vary a lot in complexity, from checking a single method in a class to make sure that performing a sequence of complex actions in the UI leads to the same results. In the code you are checking and the UI you are checking, both will result in the same result. It's all tool will do. You will write a simple program. Okay, I want to register the user. And you give the data, it will register. You don't need to go and do a typing and all these actions. You don't need to do. Tool will do for you. Tool will test for you. That's advantage with automation. It's much more robust and reliable than automation. So basically this automation testing is a very, very reliable and robust. But quality of automation test case depends on how well your test case has been designed by automation tester. Basically, the quality of test scripts depends on automation tester, how efficiently he has written the code. Automation testing is a key component of continuous integration and continuous delivery of a product. So to make your QA process very easy, and you keep on adding the new features to your application, and this automation testing helps you a lot. But there is still some value, and you cannot replace manual testing 100% with automation. Still, some cases you have to do manual testing, and that's what we'll do. And there are main categories is functional testing. What is meant by functional testing? Functional testing means it involves the testing of functional aspects of the application. When performing functional tests, You have to test each and every functionality in the web page. Every element in the web page is working or not, whether it is correctly displaying the data or not. When you give the input, that output is correct or not. That's what the functionality will verify. We are going to check the desired result, desired output the application is giving or not. The customer is happy with the application while using. Is it solving his problem or not? That's what the functional testing means. Basically, functional aspects. All the functionality is working or not, correctly working or not. That's what we are going to check in the functional testing. There are several types of functional testing like unit testing, integration testing, end-to-end testing, smoke, sanity, regression, retesting, acceptance testing, white box, black box, interface testing. So these are a lot of functional test cases or functional testing types. Functional tests are performed both manually and by automation tools. This kind of testing, manual testing is easy, but you should use tools when necessary. Simple functional testing means you can do both manually and automation also. With the tools also you can do functional testing. And these functional test tools are Micro Focus UFT, Selenium, very famous, JUnit, SOAP UI, and Water. These are some of the tools available in the market. And this Micro Focus UFT, previously called QTP, and nowadays, Selenium is a very, very popular than all these other tools. Most famous tool is a Selenium UI functional test tool. The functional test tool is this Selenium. Everybody prefers Selenium only to test their UI pages. The graphical user interface pages can be tested very nicely with Selenium automation tool. As you know, what is meant by unit testing? You are all aware of unit testing, right?
Yes.
And unit testing ensures that each part of the code developed in the component delivers the desired output or not. So you're going to check each and every part of the application. A small unit of the application is tested by a developer. So developer will test each and every part of the application is working or not before sending to the testing team the build. It provides a documentation of code development as each unit of the code is thoroughly tested before sending to the testing team. Unit test supports functional tests by exercising the code that is most likely to break. So because unit testing is purely done by the development team and their machines only. If you use functional tests without unit test cases, you may experience several bugs. Smells is nothing but a bug. Bad, right? Smell means. So that means you can see the bad things on the application. And the unit test cases, they will write and they will check those unit test case failures. They will diagnose and they will fix this. Then they will send it to the testing team. And second one is a component testing. A component testing is testing a module or a component independently to verify its expected output is called component testing. Generally, component testing is done to verify the functionality or usability of a component, but not restricted to only these two, but many types of testings you can perform. So positive, negative test cases, so many things. A component can be of anything which can take inputs and deliver some output. For example, the module of code, web page, screens, and even the system inside a bigger system is component to it. See that? You can see this. So login is one component, and it is the data will store in the database, right? Data will store in the database. So your login, when you register, that username password will come and store in this database tables. The database tables, the users table will be there, and users table inside your data will store, and that data will be retrieved by this component, and you will test to login component. That's one component or one module. Then you have a browse product, add to cart, payment, confirmation. These are all the different components, right? Each component you will test separately. That's a individual component testing, and this functionality will validate and you will test all these features. This is a search area. You will search the product, you browse the product. The required product is showing in the search results page or not, you can verify here. That's all the search area, right? That's this component testing. Let's see what all we can test in the component one separately. Testing the UI part for usability and accessibility, testing the page loading to ensure performance, login component, we're discussing what other things you can take apart from functionality. You can try SQL injection through the UI components to ensure security, testing the login functionality with valid and invalid user credentials. So these are the test cases we have written already. And also usability test case, the field, look and feel, and tab order, the alignment. That's all we have ticked that. That's a usability and accessibility. Through keyboard are able to access that. So moving from one tab to other field, is it happening or not? Is it quickly loading or not? It's a performance. So this is all you can test in the login. And SQL injection. The SQL injection is very important wherever input fields are there. What this SQL injection is? So the hackers will use these techniques to hack the system with some SQL commands. They'll try to guess some usernames, passwords, and they will try to attack it. If the database is weak and your so database will give access to the hackers. That's how data will steal by the hackers. This is one of the technique, SQL injection attacks. But we have to test this in the testing environment to ensure that our database is correct and proper. So full securely it is built up. So these are the things, all these 4 points you have to consider while testing a single component. Other component, same way you will test it. Are you clear on component testing? What you will test on this single login component? How you will test?
Yes.
Same way other components also, some other tester you will test, and all the search related and add to cart page related. I have shown you add to cart page. So in the Google, this Amazon website. So many features are there in that area, right? So many features are there in that area. Let me show you. See, shopping cart. So these are the fields, right? And this field, see that in the cart page, you have so many in the add to cart. So these are the many fields. You have see that the image is correct or not, this title is correct or not, this price is properly showing or not, and it is in stock or not, the prime this product is prime or not, and you have to check this. This will be a gift. Learn more link is working or not. All these products are showing properly or not. When you change the quantity, order are able to change. Just now we discussed it in the requirement document, right? So different quantity selection. And then when you click on delete functionality, one test case. Save for later, one test case. See more like this, another test case. Selecting the different quantity, another test case. And learn more, another test case. The display of all this product and price is one verification. So this is add to cart. If you select 5 products should show here. 5 products should show here. Is it showing or not? See now how many products are there? 4 products. That 4. Here how many products are there? Here also should be same 4. That's integration. The calculation is the same. Cut. This is what, how, and this all sum up, and you should match it with this price. All these things you have to do. Add to cart test. So many things you will check in this page, right? Proceed to buy is working or not. The checkbox is working or not. 100% purchase production. This logo is displaying or not. Delete all items link is working or not. You have to validate delete all items also, another test case. Validate delete all items link. Validate delete link. Validate save for later. Validate see more like this. Select more than one quantity and then check the price. Are you able to select more than one quantity for this or not? See the product name and product image in the cart page. Whatever you selected in the search results page, same should be shown here also. These are all the test cases you have to write. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Lakshmi, any questions?
Yes. One question, sir. You told that SQL injection.
SQL injection. SQL injection is something. 1 minute.
Yes.
Wherever input fields are there, like this.
What is the
SQL queries? SQL queries. They will write SQL queries. Select star from users table where username equal to admin and password equal to admin. Like this, they will guess the SQL queries and this username password they are passing here in these edit boxes. If wherever username passwords or fields are there, right, in the login section, yes, they will give like this SQL queries, and then they will hit if your application database is weak, and they will respond to this username password accepts and give the permission to them. That's a hijackers will do that. Attackers.
Username.
Yeah.
Username they can identify, sir, any name or just
guess. They will guess.
Okay.
They will guess and give because they know all these techniques. Okay. That's a hacker. So hackers response. Hackers is how they will hack the system is like this. They will guess and they will try to hack the system. That's one of the hacking technique. SQL injection. So that SQL queries, if you give, your system is sustaining or not. Sometimes the database will crash. We are trying to hit the SQL injections. That's where this testing we have to do. Okay, that's a penetration testing or security testing we call that, or SQL injection testing we call this. Okay, but are you clear on this shopping cart? What are the test cases you need to write? The individual component.
Sir, you were told that individual component only we need to test, right, sir?
That's a component testing.
Yes, sir. But we are taking your group of components. So how we
this
test?
Is not a group of components, right? This add to cart is one component.
Each one only we are taking, sir.
So the add to cart is one component. This entire thing is a one component. This entire page is a cart page. This entire is a cart page. The product you are talking, product is a multiple products you can take. Products is not a component.
Okay, page only we are taking. Okay.
Product component means what? A component means this basically login is one product, one component. Search is one component. Add to cart is one component, not the products. Each product is not one component. Entire cart is one component. Cart page. This is all cart page, madam. So these are all the features. These entire features. What is this? This is what? Delete one functionality. Save for one. This is all in the cart page. These test cases you need to write. This is a cart page, not for even same for other product also. You have to verify each and every product. You are able to delete this product, save for later it is adding or not, see more like this products are showing or not. Not for one product. See, the same links are available for all products. This is all add to cart page. This is a cart page functionality. Cart page is one functionality, big functionality. It's not small, right? This is one requirement. They will tell the requirement. Just now I explained. In the cart page, they will tell one by one. Delete, when you click on delete or deselect all items, it will deselect all the items. See that? Right? Deselected all items. If you click on again, select all items, it will select all items. And you have to check individual items, you can uncheck also. This is another functionality you have to write. How many test cases you can consider here? See that only select to delete, deselect only you're getting almost 5 or 6 test cases. Then here also delete one test case. When you delete functionality, save for later one test case, see more like this one test case, and same applicable for every product inside. These links are common. You have to validate in each and every product. But I don't want, I'll delete this. See that that's gone. It has to remove from the cart. See that the message you are getting was removed from the shopping cart. It has to remove. That's what I want. And this also I'll delete. I'll move save for later. See that is moved to save for later. Another module. It moved to save for later module. It is integration. It is moving from cart to save for later module inside. It came here. Here you have see moved. This is save for later test cases. You have to write it differently again. This is another module, another component.
Yes.
Save for later is another component. Already you buy it again is another component. Already you bought and that is showing. You want to buy one more time these things, and it is asking. It is showing again, and again you can add to cart. You can write a test case for this also. These are all different test cases. That's how you can write. And these are all included in the requirement just now I have shown you. Same they will include in the test cases also. Okay?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Now, that's all about component testing. You already test levels, I explained this. And again, you are coming back with a lot of doubts. Now, integration testing. So integration testing is performed to test individual components to check how they function together. When you join all the individual components, login, browse, search module, add to cart module, payment module, and confirmation module, all you combine, how this is going to perform. The data is flowing from one module to other module or not. That's what you will check in the integration testing. I already explained. I don't want to repeat this again and again. That's why I'm skipping this completely. the most important thing is smoke testing. Any questions you have on the integration before moving to next test case?
No, sir.
Even integration I have shown you just now also one more. From add to cart to you just moved save for later. It moved to save to, that's the integration. Data moved from that module to saved for later module.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Next is smoke testing. What is smoke testing? The smoke testing is performed on the new build given by the developers to QA team to verify if the basic functionality are working or not. It is one of the very important functional testing type. This should be the first test to be done on any new build. In smoke testing, test cases are chosen cover the most important functionality of the system. So main cover is the basic, whether it is working or not. A critical functionality you will verify in this smoke testing. So this is the smoke testing life cycle. So first development, and they will give the build to the QA team and you will perform the smoke testing. If smoke testing is failed, you will reject the build and you will send it to the development team, same build. So build is not working, you can send it back. Then if smoke test cases are passed, build is accepted and you can do a functional testing. So that's a smoke testing, how we are going to do that. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
So in this you will choose many test cases will be there, but few things you will check and you will verify, so that you have you see many test cases are there. Login is there, show total leaves count, and for example employee application if you take, so log into employee website and it will show total leaves count for you and types of leaves are there. Testing of the calendar while selecting the date, select the date. User should be able to fill the required information, reason of the leave. After applying request sent to the manager for approval, manager approves the leave, employee gets notified. So leaves gets deducted from the total count, log out. So these are all the so many steps are there. So here smoke testing comes into picture. What you will do as a tester, you have to choose a little bit test cases, mainly one login, select date to fill other details, request send to manager, that's over. So whether you are able to do this or not, you will check main critical functionality. You are not going to check each and everything in the smoke testing. Very basic functionality will check. If those are working, then you are too good to continue your detailed testing. That's the smoke testing means. Then you will perform a system testing or end-to-end testing. End-to-end testing means I told you. So from registration to login, then search a product, add to cart, payment gateway, and billing address selection, and then payment is done, the confirmation bit. That's the one end-to-end test case. Then you want to go to cart page, you are searching and you want to add it to the further buying. Maybe future you can buy that product and you can add to the cart and you can say save for later, whether it is showing save for. That's one end-to-end flow. Based on your user requirement, the end-to-end scenarios you will execute, and that is called end-to-end testing. We call our system testing. You can say system testing is carried by specialized team. So he's going to have detailed use cases and they will execute all those use cases, positive, negative, all usability test cases they will execute. That's we already discussed that. So what is regression testing? Regression testing is when the developer change or modify the functionality or feature, there is a huge possibility that these updates may cause unexpected behaviors in the application. So regression testing is performed to make sure that a change or addition hasn't broken any of the existing functionality. Its purpose is to find bugs that may have been accidentally introduced into the existing build, or to ensure that the previously removed bugs continue to stay till end, and it will be there already existing bugs. They removed, but still they exist again. So there are many functional testing tools available to do this regression testing. Like all automation testing tools will be used to perform the regression testing. So the main overall context here is any spillover is there because of changes in the code. The existing functionality is working properly or not. That's what you're going to check in the regression testing. I don't want to repeat again. See that. So in the current traditional Agile methodology, every sprint, new feature is going to keep on adding. New feature is going to keep on adding. So you need to test. See, that's new feature F1. So then sprint 2, you're adding a feature 2. But you have to test feature 1, right? That you have to do regression. Then feature 2 you are testing individually. New feature testing you will do here. Then feature 3, when it comes to sprint 3, you have a feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. The test cases are keep on increasing. When you will test the feature 3, when you will test feature 1 and feature 2, that you have to confirm regression testing. When you do, then only can tell these two are working perfectly. The sprint by sprint, the test cases are keep on augmenting, keep on increasing. The number of test cases are going to increase. And if you want to ensure that everything is working properly, you have to perform a regression testing. Otherwise, you cannot say it is working or not. That's this. See that regression testing can become a challenge for the testers as well. Here are some of the reasons why you need a regression testing. The number of test cases in the regression suite increases with each new feature. So old feature, a new feature is adding. The next cycle, you will add this new feature test case also into regression test suite. Sometimes the execution of the entire regression test suite becomes difficult due to time and budget constraints. You cannot execute manually all these things because of manual testing takes a lot of time. Minimizing test suite while achieving maximum test coverage is not a cakewalk. You cannot ignore, right, some test cases. If you ignore, we don't know where it is going to break. That's a problem. That's why you have to do all the functionality again. That's a regression. And a determination of frequency of regression tests after every modification or every build update after a bunch of bug fixes is always a challenge, right? Every time developer keep on changing the code, or you find a bug, he has to change the code in that area, and we don't know that change may spill over new bugs or can introduce new bugs in other areas, and he didn't take care of that. He's not going to test everything, right? He will just fix the bug, but we don't know where it will break. And how can you ensure that your application entire functionality is working correctly? By doing a regression only, that is you can tell, otherwise it is not possible. Okay, that's a regression testing. Is it clear?
Yes.
Next is sanity testing. We have seen a smoke testing. Now what is sanity testing? This is very important. Understand very clearly here. When you first time get a build, you will do smoke testing, right? Very high level functionality. Basic functionality will check there, not in detail. But what is a sanity testing? This is a commonly asked interview question. When a new build is received with a minor modifications, instead of running a thorough regression test suite, we can perform a sanity test. Understand again here. When you and a new build is received from the development team with a small modifications, what you will do, you have to test one more time, right? Instead of running entire regression test suite, what we can do, we can perform a small sanity test. What is this sanity? Let me give you more in detail. It determines that the modifications have actually fixed the issues and no further issues have been introduced by the fixes. Sanity testing is generally a subset of regression testing, a group of test cases executed that are related to the changes made to that product. For example, you filed a bug in the add to cart page, and they fixed the bugs in that area and they send a build to testing team. And again, you cannot test the entire application, right? It's not possible. Then what you can do, only add to cart you test thoroughly. That is called sanity testing. So only that subset, that part only, where modification done, only that area you will do a detailed testing. All the test cases you will execute one more time. That is called sanity testing. So testing the application where the modifications happen, only that part you will test it. So that is called sanity test. Many testers get confused between sanity testing and smoke testing. So sanity testing and smoke testing, many people will get confused. So let me explain here. So initially unstable builds, build 1, build 2, build 3, verifies end-to-end functionality, smoke testing. When you get a first time build, you will do smoke testing. Then detailed testing you will execute. If test cases pass, system testing, regression testing you will do. Then after so many stable builds, right? So many builds are there. Now build 21, 23, 22 builds are stable builds. These builds, suppose one of the builds they did a modification. Only that build they will check one more time, verifies new functionality is working or not. So if that sanity is working, then finally we will do one more round of system or regression testing. So this is the sanity is at the end. You already tested them, many builds. Maybe one build they did a small modification, only that part only will test one more time. So that test cases only, that module test case only will test one more time at the end, before release, before releasing the product. That you will do sanity testing. But smoker, you will do in the beginning, right? That's a sanity and smoker. Many people will confuse. It's a very interesting question also they will ask. What is the difference between sanity testing and smoke testing? Mandatory interview question. So I hope you can understand very well now. So let's continue with the above example of the leave management system. Let's assume that developers have released the build 2 with some other features. Now first we need to perform smoke testing and check whether the overall functionality is working fine or not. And we are assuming that the build 2 has passed on the smoke test. Now we know we have reported the date selection in build 1 and it has been solved in build 2. So the some of the date selection issue was there in the build 1. Now they fixed it in the build 2. In sanity testing, we will only test date selection functionality, whether it affects other functionality or not. Only date selection you will test it, not other areas. So that is the sanity testing means. You are not testing entire thing in the sanity. Only which area is modified, that area only will cover. One more round you will do subset of regression. So only that part you will test all the test cases. That is called sanity testing. Is this clear or any doubt in this smoke and sanity?
What is the stable builds means, sir? Stable builds something.
Stable builds means they are currently working properly. Unstable builds means first initially they are giving, right? From the development team they are coming, they are bringing to the testing team. We don't know these are correct or not, right? First what you will do smoke testing. Smoke testing, once you have done smoke, if there is no issue, you can say that is a build is a stable.
Okay.
And testing multiple test cases are executed, but no issues are coming. But build one has not, you cannot say these builds are stable because these are all bugs. Just now I told you, build one has a bugs. And those bugs
Yes.
be fixed in build two. Again, build two also has a bugs. That is also not stable. And keep on testing multiple levels of thing, and then you will reach the build 21, build 23 like that, right? And
Okay.
these are the stable ones. So multiple rounds of testing went, and you're going to get a stable builds, stable environment. Stable environment means at any point of time that application is working perfectly. That's a stable builds means. Stable means working perfectly, no bugs at all. Now you take a Gmail, Google, and this is stable builds. Those are all. Code is perfect, no bugs at all. That's a stable build means. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So are you clear about sanity and smoke?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now end-to-end testing I already told. End-to-end testing is the functional testing of the entire system. When you test the complete application, and the request should reach to each and every component of the application. From one end to other end, you have to test all the features. That's end-to-end testing. So you can do with a lot of test cases like Cucumber, Protractor, Jasmine, Karma, are some great end-to-end testing tools. These are all end-to-end testing tools you can use. So user interface testing. What is user interface testing means? User interface testing involves the testing of the application's user interface. The main aim is UI tests to check whether the user interfaces have been developed according to what is described in the requirement specification document. By running UI tests, you can make the application user interface more user-friendly, appealing to the AIs is proper or not, alignment is proper or not, and tab order is correct or not, consistency is there in the font size or not, color is proper or not. So these are I explained, right? All user interface testing, how it looks like for the user, so that you can do that. So, and then accessibility testing. So accessibility testing is testing whether your software is accessible to disabled people or not. So it is called accessibility testing. All the blind and deaf people are able to access your application or not. So you need to check if disabled people such as those who are color blind, blind and deaf, can use your application or not. You need to check. So this the right choice of color and contrast need to be made to make your software accessible to color blind people. So, and is it accessible to everybody? Accessibility guidelines are predefined. Every application should follow that. If that is not followed, and it's a punishable act. So they should not omit this accessibility guidelines. So basically you can test with the tool, this accessibility guideline 1, level 2 like that. And with the tool you can do accessibility. Some of them you can validate manually, but some of them mostly you will test with tools. So alpha testing, as I mentioned, beta testing we already seen. So most important I want to cover here is ad hoc testing and exploratory testing. So what is ad hoc and exploratory testing? White box and black box I covered, except testing also I covered. I don't want to explain again. And so these two will cover and then we'll close for the day. What is ad hoc testing? So ad hoc testing is a testing that is performed in ad hoc manner, randomly. You don't have any test cases, you don't have any documentation, just they will give the application and you just go and perform the testing on the application. That is called ad hoc testing. So what is ad hoc testing? You will perform random testing without any test cases, without using any test cases or test plans or documentation. And so this kind of testing is not carried out in a systematic manner, no proper way. It's up to you, go and do whatever you want to do. That's the ad hoc testing means. So basically, person who doesn't know anything about the system, he can try to use the application. So then you play around with that and try to find the bugs. That's called ad hoc testing. You don't have any document, any test cases you won't use there. That's ad hoc testing. So this informal type of software testing can be executed by any person involved with the project. So they can, basically every person has some idea, right, how to use the application. They can perform like that. That's ad hoc testing. So exploratory testing, quite opposite to ad hoc. So exploratory testing is basically you will just explore, you will learn a lot about the application, and you have a documents, and you will learn, and then you will perform the testing on the application. That's exploratory. Explore test sessions can even motivate their users by offering rewards for the most number of issues, best defect, or doing something unexpected with the product. Then people will keep doing a lot of exploration, a lot of ideas they will apply and get the more bugs. That's exploratory. Exploratory is nothing but you learn something about the product, then try to implement a lot of ideas on the application. So that is called exploratory testing. Now, one of the benefits of exploratory testing is anyone can join to help test. Even other team members also can join and test your product. And all this is so just learning and executing. It's not a random. It's not a random. So they just have some manual tests and they can learn it and they can execute those test cases. That's exploratory testing. See, the meaning itself is exploratory. Explore about the functionality, about listen some test sessions on this product, and then execute the test cases. That's exploratory testing. It's not random. So ad hoc is a random, but exploratory is not a random. You learn it first, functionality, then execute it. So that's exploratory testing. These are all functional testing, black box testing, and white box testing, acceptance testing. So these are all functional test cases. Okay, functional testing type.